right, let me just again start from the beginning again because noise. But again, I think for the next hour, I'm glad. I wish more people were here, but I think it'll be a pretty compelling story that hopefully will impact you in some ways personally and professionally. And as I said before, at times you think everything's going great in life and you're going down a wonderful path, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, life just hits you. And for me, that was Saturday, September 26th. In the world that I live in, my second passion in life is training for Ironmans and marathons. And we all know being on a bicycle, there's always a level of risk. There's cars on the road, people get hit all the time. And it's always something we all know, we all have in the back of our minds. That's one of the reasons why cyclists usually get out of the house early in the morning. Because when you leave your house at 5 in the morning, you have several hours before the traffic starts to avoid any risk. But there's always, always, always risk when you're on a bicycle. And I happen to be a very conservative cyclist. So when I'm going down hills, I'm usually pretty careful. I'm not someone that takes risk. And I'm pretty good. And I know, there's never a time where there's been situations where a car will turn in front of you and you got to stop short on a bicycle, and you don't realize how difficult that is. So on this Saturday, September 26th, I was 2 weeks away from competing in my next Ironman race in Louisville, Kentucky. I was all excited because I felt this was my opportunity to finally qualify for Hawaii Kona, which is something that's been near and dear to my heart for years. And I was very close when I competed in Montreal, Canada in August, where I finished 13th in my age group, so I was very close to qualifying, but I really felt my opportunity was there. And all of a sudden, I was about 40 miles out on my 4-hour bike ride, stopped at the same local place I always stop. It's my halfway point, went inside, refueled, got back on the bike, and went back home the same route I normally go. And this is the route that I take religiously every Saturday. Nothing changes. Out of nowhere, I don't know what was different this Saturday, but on a street in Gladstone, New Jersey, which is about 40 miles from my house, I'm on my bike, and I'm going down the rolling hills, and all of a sudden, I see in front of me a massive pile of dirt or gravel, I don't know what it was. And I was already in my turn going down the hill, and I knew, this wasn't even a surprise. All of a sudden, I knew I was hitting that gravel, and I knew I was going down. I knew it. I didn't know what would happen, but I knew I was going down. And I've never crashed before. I've fallen off the bike at a stoplight, but I couldn't. I've never crashed. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I knew it was going to happen, and I feel myself going down. I knew. And it was probably a very, very massive impact hitting that ground going down that hill, where all of a sudden, the bike went flying. I don't know how I unclipped, but the bike went flying, and I went flying. And, cyclists, one of our fears is hitting the pavement, road rash. Well, this looks pretty good today, but any one of you who came to my house or saw me over the last several weeks, I was not in good shape. I mean, I had road rash on my hands, my legs, everywhere, to the point that they thought I may have needed skin grafts. Luckily, I do not, but it was bad. And the worst part is we always think about everything that we should have done when we're faced with a situation. Here I am on the ground, shocked. Thank God I was able to move. The first thing I did is I prayed to God that I could move my feet because I was fearful of being paralyzed, because I had friends that had been paralyzed on bicycles. Fearful. Thank God I was able to move my feet. But I couldn't move. My shoulder, I was a mess. I mean, I was bleeding everywhere. I mean, I just couldn't move. And all of a sudden, I went to reach for my cell phone because I wanted to call my wife or something. And I was conscious. My cell phone's not there. Where's my cell phone? It went flying. My cell phone's gone. I have no idea what it is. I have no road ID on me because my road ID that I used to have, I lost, so I never replaced it. So I had nothing on me other than my driver's license. But no one would have known my address, my phone number, what medications I may be allergic to. And I've always wondered. Just the last year, I had a dog pickup, so I never replaced it. Idiot me, I should have, okay? But all of a sudden, you're on the ground, can't reach your cell phone. And I'm like, oh my God. Thank God, a car drove by, a really nice man stopped, got out of his car, came over to me and offered help. He found my cell phone, he called my wife, he ended up calling the ambulance. But as I'm sitting on the ground, and I'm sharing with you things that went through my mind, I know I'm alive. Oh my God. disability insurance in place. These are the things that start going through your mind when you're on the ground. Oh my God, I got a family. You know, what if I can't work? Because at this point, I didn't know the extent of injuries. I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what. Didn't know what. Okay? You start thinking about life, and you start going through all the thoughts in your mind, and all the things that you wish you did or didn't do. Oh my God, did I show enough support to my family? Was I a loving father? Was I a loving husband? All the things go through your mind when you're on that ground. Okay? And all of a sudden, I'm sitting there, and luckily, finally, the ambulance comes. The police come. And they're locating the ambulance. Now, I don't know if any of you have been in an ambulance before, but it's pretty scary. You're sitting in the back and you're on this stretcher and the lights go on. I mean, you don't know what the hell's going on. So I get to the hospital and my wife ends up showing up and all of a sudden I just break down. Even I saw my wife break down. Because, you know, it's an emotional thing. And I try to hold it in, but I couldn't anymore. I apologized up and down because I felt like, right or wrong, okay, it's what goes on in your mind. That, oh my God, I just let you down. I just got hurt. You know, I have a family to take care of. What if I can't? All the things start going through your mind. And at that moment, I was hoping that I had enough disability insurance. I was hoping, because it wasn't about death at that point, it was about disability. Make a long story short, I leave the hospital, they determined that I broke my collarbone, my scapula, and 4 ribs. I had stitches in both hands, stitches in my left knee, and they were concerned again about potential skin grafts, and the concern was if my shoulder bone would have moved at all, I probably would have needed surgery. Luckily, as of right this moment, I don't need surgery on my shoulder, which to me was a relief. When I left the hospital, and I went home, and people came to the house, people sent me emails and cards, and it was wonderful. And you know what? You realize who your real friends are in life. And because there's always those one or two people that shock you, that don't even reach out to you, and you can't believe how they didn't. And you try to start rationalizing, well, maybe they were busy. But I had 1 or 2 of those, and that's okay. I'm not someone that holds any grudges. You just remember in the back of your mind to do that with you. But all of a sudden, I never dawned on me that I got my helmet here today because I don't recall ever hitting my head, but my helmet cracked. And I will pass it around. You'll see there's a crack inside the helmet. Now, I don't know about you, but I know many people who like to go out there and cycle without wearing a helmet. Because their feeling is, why wear a helmet? It's hot outside. That's going to happen. This thing may have saved my life. I don't know. Now, I don't recall ever hitting my head, but I had to. I hit my head because the helmet cracked. So, when you talk about safety and you talk about security, I can tell you right now, my outlook on life changed on September 26th about how I view everything in life. What's important to me, what's not important to me, and the values that I have only increased because I realized on that day, who knows what could have happened. My helmet's got a big crack right here. My wife saw it. I didn't even know it was there. Okay? So it's all banged up here, so I had to hit my head. So this thing saved my life, or potentially injuries may have been a lot worse. Now, I'll pass it around if you want to take a look, you're more than welcome to. So life hits you hard. And I'm not someone that's very dependent. I don't like to be dependent. But all of a sudden now, I have to depend on everyone to do everything for me. I get home that night, and I have to sleep on the couch downstairs because I can't walk up the stairs. And I got to ask my wife, my kids, friends, can you get me this? Can you get me that? Can you get me this? And it's the hardest thing in the world to have to depend on other people to take care of you. And my wife is wonderful, and she couldn't do enough to help me. My kids were great, but still, all of a sudden, I now have to depend on everyone to do things for me. I couldn't get up. I couldn't do anything, even a cup of coffee, nothing. And it's the worst feeling in the world to think that. Now all of a sudden I'm home maybe 2 weeks, and I'm on the mend, and a lot of thoughts are going through my mind. And people, again, I'm on the phone, I'm doing whatever I can to try to keep things going with work. And all of a sudden I wake up, it's a Thursday night, and I can't breathe. I have no idea what's wrong. Every time I go like this, I feel a massive pain right here on my side. And I'm like, they warned me that potentially I can get pneumonia because I'm not breathing well. So I'm thinking maybe it's pneumonia. Okay, I can deal with it. So my wife said, we got to go to the hospital. I said, look, let me take some Advil. Let me see how I go through the night. Tomorrow, we'll decide. And we call friends of ours who are doctors, and they all felt I should have gone to the hospital. But stubborn me, like most people are, I'm not going to the hospital. I'll be okay. I'm a strong guy. It's probably just pneumonia. It's probably just my ribs hurt. Whatever. All of a sudden, 4 in the morning, Friday morning, I think it was, Friday morning, I can't breathe. I'm just, can't breathe. My wife comes downstairs and we make a decision. We're not going to go to the hospital, but the facility that we use has an inpatient care center. They open up at 8 o'clock in the morning. We're going to wait. We're going to get there at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I get there. Again, what am I thinking? It's a pain in my side of my ribs. I'm just struggling. Maybe it's pneumonia. I'll deal with it. So they put me down. They put me through that CAT scan machine. All of a sudden, the doctor comes running in, turns to my wife and says, "We've got a serious issue." I'm sitting there, a serious issue. He goes, "We got a life-threatening condition." I said, "What are you talking about, life-threatening? I'm in great health." He goes, "You have developed a pulmonary embolism from the clot, from the swelling in my leg." And I had a clot in my leg, and I had 2 clots in my lungs, one significant size, right next to my heart. And their concern was that I could potentially die any moment because they don't know how close it is to my heart, and this is serious. And I turned to him and I said, "Are you kidding me?" He goes, "I'm telling you, this is life-threatening. You have the ambulance on the way right now. We'll take me to the emergency room. We got to get this checked out." And I'm sitting there saying to myself, I'm 46 years old, in great health. Every time they kept asking me questions about health history, nothing. I mean, nothing at all, other than being allergic to penicillin that I think I am. Nothing. I kept saying, they kept asking me drugs. I said, never in my life. Alcohol, I haven't touched a drink in years. No. I said, stop asking me. No. Now you can tell me I have a life-threatening condition. And now what goes through my mind? Oh my God. So I have enough life insurance. Do I know what the policies are? Where did I put them all? It's my wife over there. We almost moved last year, so we put stuff in storage. Oh my God, where's everything? And then I get to the emergency room, and they admit me into ICU because it was a critical condition. And I don't know if any one of you have been in ICU. I don't know if this is normal procedure, but they ask you, do you have a power of attorney? You have a healthcare proxy. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Why are you asking me these questions for? Is something wrong? Oh no, it's a standard procedure. But in my mind, I'm thinking, they're asking me this for a reason because I'm off the piss. I'm like, yeah, I have them. You know where they are. What did I say? We moved stuff because we were going to sell our house, so they're in a box. I just don't know which one. Idiot me. How can I not know where they are? This is what's going through my mind. Oh my God. Oh my God. Am I letting my family down? What am I doing? What am I doing? So they come in, they do a bunch of tests on me, and they're talking to my wife, and I'm hearing it, and they're talking about doing this thing where they put a, they blast the clot through with a catheter, or whatever, and the concern they had is that they did that and God forbid the piece broke up against my heart, who knows. Thank God, after doing further tests, it was not close to my heart. And the irony, and my wife can probably share a lot more about this than I can because she was right there, all my stems were not showing that I had any health issues. My pulse, everything was great. Why? Because I was in such good health from all the working out that I do, that it threw everything off. They could not believe it. They're like, your stats are way too good. It makes no sense. So one part of the story is taking care of yourself and being physically fit makes the world of a difference if, God forbid, you're faced with a crisis. This probably was a major win for me. I don't know what would have happened if I wasn't. I don't know if it would have been worse. But I can tell you, being in good health and taking care of myself and working out definitely worked in my favor in this scenario. Don't know to what extent, but it did. So thank God they determined it wasn't life-threatening. I didn't have to go through this surgery they want to do. I made me feel good, but all of a sudden I went on painkillers. They started out with this with these blood thinners, one called, I can't think of the name, it starts with an L, but they give you a needle right in your stomach. And they do it every 12 and a half hours. And I was in the hospital for a couple of days. Let me tell you something, that needle hurts. So I'm like, I'm dreading 12 and a half hours. They come in and they stick it right into your stomach, and it hurts. And it's the aftermath. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Okay? So all of a sudden, I'm in the hospital, people come to visit, and it's great, and I start thinking about a lot of things. The doctor comes in, the hematologist, and he says to me, you got to take blood thinners. I said, no problem. He goes, well, here's the problem. We're going to put you on blood thinners for 3 to 6 months to make sure the clots go away, and I have no genetic history at all of any blood thinners. He goes, but you're going to get one again. You may be on blood thinners the rest of your life. Yeah, okay, not so bad. But guess what? I can't bike anymore. God forbid, I could rash. I could die. Look at that. You're telling me now something that I enjoy in my life that brings me so much joy and love that I may run the risk of not being able to do again. I'm not saying that, but you got to be careful. So you got to start changing your habits. When you're on a plane and you're in a car, 90 to 120 minutes, you got to get up, you got to walk around, you got to stretch, you got to make sure. Okay? Just in case. Okay, now, how the blood clot formed, we don't know if it's because I wasn't moving around a lot the first 2 weeks or because of the trauma to my leg. Nobody knows. Okay? But all of a sudden, life changes. And now, it gets even more interesting. and sort of, upsetting. But during the course of this entire last 2 months, some of you may know, but we were renovating our house. We were putting our kitchen through a whole new renovation, and our contractor took a lot longer than he should have. It should have been a 2-month project, ended up being 1 year. So then if you've gone through a kitchen renovation, you know that you live out of other rooms in your house to cook. Well, you cannot even cook, to eat, to sit. There's no other place to go. Somewhere in all of this, and I do not blame my wife, it happened, but she never paid or never got a bill for one of my life insurance policies. True story. Joanna's in the room, she's a witness. Remember we called the insurance company? True story. Okay? Never paid the bill. Never got the bill. We don't even know where it went. We have stuff all over the house. Okay, so we don't know if it came and maybe it got thrown out. We have no idea. Policy lapse. Called the insurance company on the phone. Well, maybe I was a couple days late. Sorry, you have to reinstate. We can't do anything for you, have to reinstate. Now, I waited on hold for probably 30 minutes. I got someone on the phone. I had no idea who they were. Were they helpful? Not a chance in hell. Well, guess what? My policy was in the reinstatement process. What do you think happens right now? It's declined. Now, I have to be open to the insurance company. I got to tell them what happened. Okay? So now luckily it was a decent sized policy and I have a lot more, but not the point. Oh my God. Policy lapsed and unfortunately this was something that never even, it just happened. I mean, don't ask me how, but it did. But now I got to tell the insurance company that I had this situation. And the likelihood is they're not going to reinstate it. Now, the message I want to send to you, and I know some of you will listen, some of you won't. I can't say never, but I can say this with utmost conviction. The likelihood of me ever selling a term policy away from Mass Mutual because it's cheaper somewhere else is slim to none. I'll tell you why. Had that been a Mass Mutual policy for me or a client of mine, I have connections in the home office. I have relationships. I could have called somebody in the home office and said, look, this poor guy's policy lapsed 3 days. Do me a favor, reinstate it. Administrative reinstate it. Would they have done it? I don't know, but at least I had someone I can talk to that I know that would help because we're in the same company. When you sell term insurance from a no-name company or you broker it out, what's your relationship with that company when something happens? So you save the client $100 a year on his term insurance, and he's happy, and you're happy because you made a sale. But look at me. I have a term policy with some company. This was bought a long time ago when I was in the midst of changing careers for a specific reason. I had no one to speak to. I had no connection. I had no one to talk to. It was a brokered policy. I paid one policy myself. I had no one to talk to. I called the company. I said, can I speak to a manager? She goes, we'll get somebody for you. Go on hold. How long do you think I waited on hold? Oh, they don't care. They're going to fax me the papers to reinstate. Did the fax ever come? No. So what I'm telling you, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, because I believe today I'm not the same person I was 4 weeks ago, in a lot of ways, in how I look at life and how I view life. Okay? I'm sorry, but this was a life's lesson for me in so many different ways. And as you get to see me and operate with me, you're going to see I'm not the same person. If you're going to sell a policy outside of Mass Mutual because the client wants it because it's cheaper, I caution you to really, really think that one through and make the right decision. I know for me, I would have paid $500 more a year for that term policy if I had to reinstate it right now, but I can't. No way. Now, I'm hoping at some point, once I'm off the blood thinner medication, I probably can. But the point is, right now, that policy is not in force. And why do you buy life insurance?
For the action.
Life insurance is for the ones that live, right? Not for the ones that die, right? So now, had I needed that life insurance policy right now, and let's just hypothetically say something would have happened to me in the hospital, and my wife would have found all the policies, and she would have called the insurance company on the phone and said, hi, I want to submit a death claim. I would like to receive proceeds of a life insurance policy. And how do you think she would have felt when they would have said, I'm sorry, but that policy lapsed? Now, you think at that point it would have mattered? That was a Mass Mutual policy, and I would have been able to get it reinstated. I would have been happy. But the point is, at that point, all of the premiums paid, everything, policies gone. So I caution you. I really, really caution you to think twice about where you place that next policy just because the client wants something cheaper. I caution you. Now, if the client insists, make the decision you want to make, but I'm telling you from my experience, for me to now sell a policy outside of Mass, even because it's cheaper somewhere else, because they can save $18 a month, okay, you know what? Now let's just say I was permanently disabled. I could have converted this term policy. but the whole life products in this company are not strong at all. I would have done it, but it wouldn't have been anything I would have been happy about. Mass Mutual, you got a strong conversion relation. So again, that's one message I want to convey. The next message I want to convey, think about this for a second. All of you in this room, and I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot, but the lesson and one of the messages I want to convey today, I don't care if you're an agent, I don't care if you're part of the staff. Look at your own personal financial situation and ask yourself, do I have everything protected the way I should? I know we all say the same thing, well, I can't afford to buy life insurance, I can't afford to have disability insurance. Same thing our clients tell us. And I'm going to add a word to that. I'm going to say, how could you afford not to? You know what, I don't care if you buy term insurance, I don't care if you buy the cheapest disability product with the longest elimination period, not the point. But ask yourself a question, if you have a family, significant other, children, do you or your significant other have the adequate protection to make sure that you can live your life comfortably in the event of a premature death or disability? The answer is no, take action. Don't just sit back and say, I can't afford it. I don't make enough money. That's a poor excuse. Because right now, I'll take as much insurance as I can if you want to give it to me. Now, I will get it at some point. September 25th, I was ultra preferred. 2 weeks later, I'm postponing right now. And when the time comes that I can get insurance, maybe never better than standard. I can live with that. I'm okay. But the point is, why wait for something to happen? And I'm talking to you about an accident. This was not a health issue. We all think about life insurance and disability, and the first thing that comes to our mind is a health issue. I'm not going to get sick. I'm in great health. Great. But what about the unforeseen situation? Mine was a bicycle. Tomorrow I could be getting hit by a car. Okay? It could be a freak accident during the snowstorm where a car slides into you. It could be anything freakish. Okay? Something falls from a scaffold in a building. All the things we don't think about. And that's the stuff that I want all of you to really think hard about. You know, I thought about it this morning. Should I challenge everyone in this room to buy disability in life? And should I have the office check to see who has it, who doesn't? I don't want to operate that way. I don't want to be a babysitter. But I can tell you this much, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. If your financial program is not in order, work on it. Take it one step at a time, but work on it. Get that application in now. Don't wait. Don't wait. And don't think about, well, I can't afford it. Nothing's going to happen to me. Okay? That's the stuff you've got to get out of your mind. It's the same stuff your clients give you all the time. Okay? And you've got to get over that. Okay? You have to. Okay? Because life hits you hard. And I go home now, and I got to think about my family and my wife and my kids and everything else. And thank God I'm able to come back to work. Thank God this was a profession that I could. But what if I wasn't in the insurance business? What if I was something else? What if I was a doctor? There's no way I could have gone to work. I'm out. I'm not able to work for several months. So I wouldn't have got a paycheck. Nothing. You've got to think this way. I'm begging you. For yourself personally, because you've got to lead by example. And again, no one's questioning whether it's whole life or term. No one's questioning what disability policy you take. It's not the point. Do the right thing because I'm leading by example because I was in a situation that I never thought would ever happen to me. So my new conviction, okay, is if you come talk to me and you tell me you're struggling in this business, I'm not going to accept that. Because there are people out there who need our benefits, who need life insurance, who need disability insurance. And I don't think many of us work as hard as we could be working or should be working to go out there and take care of those people that are sitting out there that may have that next bicycle accident or that next car accident or the next health issue. Okay? If we are convinced that what we do for a living is something that means everything to us, and it's something we're passionate about, then there should be no clock. We should be living an endless day of phone calls and people to see and talk to, whether it's talking to people on the street, on the train, making phone calls. That's not the point. If you're convinced what you do is so damn good and what you sell is something people need, then that conviction has to hit home with you. That you don't take rejection when people say to you, I want to think about it, and you let them off the hook. Okay? When you look them in the eye and say, look, this is not something you can put off because you don't know when something's going to happen. Use me as an example or use one of your own personal examples. Okay? You know, but you have to rise up. And I would never change this profession for anything in the world. Okay? Think about it for a second. Are you asked to go home at a certain time? Do I walk over to you and say, look, it's 5 o'clock, you gotta leave? You can stay all night if you want, right? You can stay all day on, you can stay both Saturday and Sunday. You can stay as much as you want. The key to your success is time. you have time on your side because you have a clock that can just go on and on and on and on. I'm telling you, if you're convinced what you do for a living, you got to send a message. You got to spread the word out there. Okay. Some of you mentioned the other day that you're trying to make conference. My attitude: don't try. Figure out a way to get it done in the next 6 weeks. Okay. Figure out a way to get it done by going out there and helping people that need what we do for a living. You know, to continue my story, this was a very emotional week for me. You know, I believe, some of you may agree, some of you may not. I'm not going to get religious here, but I believe things happen for a reason. I've always felt that. Everything that has happened to me, happened to anyone in my family, happened for a reason. Why? You don't know, but it happened for a reason. Some people suspect because I've been training so hard for 7 years that maybe this was someone telling me it's time to take a break. I don't know. But we have a family dog. A lot of you probably have family dogs, and family dogs become part of your family. It's just like another one of your kids. And he's 7 years old. A year ago, he was diagnosed with cancer. He had a big lump on his head. The doctor said he won't make it that long. We were fortunate to have him live for over a year with many treatments and radiation, you name it. And over the last 4 weeks, he really started to deteriorate. And some of you that came to the house got a chance to meet him. Like all of us, we love our dog. Okay, it's the greatest thing, in the house, and it's a part of your family. Unfortunately, Tuesday, as I was getting ready to leave to come to the office, my wife said, I just spoke to the vet, and the guy broke to sleep today. And although it's a dog, but still, to me, it's family. Seeing my kids break down in tears, seeing my wife bawl, my babysitter, who's been with us our entire life, we all go to the vet together, we all sat in the room, we put them to sleep. It is such an emotional experience. It's an experience with death. Whether it's an animal or a person, it's not the point. That dog was loved just as much as anyone else in my house. Okay? Some people will say it's a dog, man. We don't deal with that. It was part of our family. But sit in that room and watch this poor dog fall asleep, and it's over. It is emotional. And again, we're dealing with death. This is just another example of what I went through this week that we're still going through right now. And again, it hits home. It hits home with everything that I just mentioned before, because you deal with the grieving, okay, and you deal with the loss. And as you go out there in your life, as you go out there and work with clients, there's going to be a loss somewhere at some point in one of your clients' life. I hope it never happens, but there will be. You'll get that phone call when you least expect it on a Thursday morning at 9 o'clock from one of your clients saying, look, I'm sorry, Bill, but my husband got into a bad accident the night before, or unfortunately passed away due to a health issue. And you're going to be like, oh my God, what do I do? You're not even going to know who to call to file a death claim. Mark my words. You're going to be like, Jessica, Davina, what do I do? Okay, what do I do? And you're going to go through that. You're going to experience a loss of something that you put in place for a client. And you know what? As much as you don't want to ever have to deal with that, you're going to feel good about what you did, because thanks to the work you did, that family now will continue to live the lifestyle we're living right now. Thanks to you and what you did, those kids may go on to college and they have a beautiful life. And I can only tell you, again, I hope this never happens to anybody in this room. Okay, I went through this experience this last month, but it raises my conviction more than ever before about this profession and what we do for a living. If I see people in this office sitting around not working and just talking around the coffee machine and talking about how hard the business is, expect me to say something to you. It'll be nice, but expect me to say something to you, because you know what? Yes, this business is hard. Okay, it should be hard. We're dealing with people's emotions, and people hate to talk about things that potentially could affect them. Right? And they like to procrastinate, and they don't want to pay for things because people don't think they're going to die. People don't think they're going to become sick. So yeah, we're in a hard profession. That's life. Does it pay well? 100%. Okay. Put the money aside for a second. I believe if we're in this business, we have a purpose. And our purpose is to go out there every single week and sell one or two people the wonderful products that we have available to us that can protect them against something that happens. And that is my mission. And I am expecting, well, come 2016, down to 2015, we're going to have producers that are going to be writing 100 lives a year. I don't care if it's all term insurance. That's not the point. That we have a conviction, sort of like when you have these things online, these charities where they try to hit a certain number. Your number should be, you want to help 100 people a year. I want to help 80 people a year. I want to make sure 80 families are taken care of in 2016. That's my New Year's resolution. I don't care if it's life, I don't care if it's disability, I don't care. I want 80 families taken care of in 2016. That's my New Year's resolution. And every time I see Stephen or my manager, I'm going to say I have 10 done, I have 70 more to go. But that's my New Year's resolution. That should be your resolution. Because luckily I'm in the business, but what if I wasn't? What if I had nothing? What if I had nothing? What would I be saying right now? Well, no one ever came to me. No one ever said anything to me. Okay? Just in the call last night with my wife, I said, honey, the minute I can get this policy reinstated, I will. As soon as I can. Okay? It's unfortunate I have to think that way, but it's like it, and it's what happened. It's what happened out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Okay? And when you're home, and you're in a situation where you can't do much, you have a lot of time to think. Okay? I went from getting up every morning, 4:30, and I'm a minute late. Getting up right away, charged up downstairs, the normal routine we all have, and I'm sure all of you in this room have your routine. Getting up, getting downstairs, have my coffee, see my dog, get a little work done, get on the treadmill, the bike, and start getting my workout in. Now I can't fall asleep before. Don't ask me why, I'm up all night. I haven't worked out in 5 weeks. You know what? Again, I can't. And I hate the word can't. When the doctor said to me, I can't, I said, what do you mean I can't? There's got to be a way I can do something. He says, no, you can't do anything. I said, I don't believe in that word can't. He goes, well, I don't care what you believe in, you can't. And I can't. And the only thing I'm able to do right now is walk. And Saturday I took my longest, Saturday or Sunday I took my longest walk ever. I took an hour walk and an hour walk back. Can't do anything else. Okay? And you know what? It stinks. It does. But I have a lot of time to think and a lot of time to ponder and think about a lot of things. And about this business and about all of you in this room. You know, and just thinking about the agency and thinking about what's working, what's not working, and what should be working better. And thinking about agents, when I look at the numbers and I see people struggling to make ends meet, and I see people having a difficult time in this business, and I say to myself, how in the world? Okay, are they not working hard enough? My God, people need what we do. How do we get people charged up and motivated to want to get on that phone and want to work harder? I want to work smarter. I want to do the things because they're passionate about what they do. And I said, I can't be you. I can't make all your calls for you. I can't be in your body. I can't do it. But how do I get people not struggling? Especially in a business like this where you're doing something good for someone. So for me, the balance of this year and going into next year, I don't want to hear excuses anymore. And I don't mean that to offend anyone. I want you to be successful. I want you to go out there and have the conviction that what you do for a living means so much. Whether you dealt with a personal experience, or you're hearing mine, or you're sharing my story, will you go out there, okay? And it's not that you're struggling, it's that too much money's coming in that you want us to hold some money back. And I'm serious now. And I believe all of you in this room, in my opinion, okay, and probably some of you are, so I apologize for making a general statement, I'm not working as hard as you can. I watch in the office. I see who's talking during prime telephone hours. You know, people huddling together and talking. Yeah, it's one thing if you're talking about a great sales idea and you're sharing support with each other. That's wonderful. You know, Richard had a sale that didn't go through, so you want to give him some support and tell him it's going to, don't worry. That's great. I hear people talking about different things that don't pertain to business during prime hours. Why? And maybe that was okay before my accident. Now it's not. And I'm the leader of this office. I got to lead by example. And I got to get in your face. And I got to guide you and coach you to do better, to want to sell more, to want to help people. Put the money aside, okay? It's not about making money. It's about helping people. The money follows, okay? But you got to want it more. You got to stop those procrastinations. And I can't get to work today because I'm dealing with this and I'm dealing with that. You know, we all have personal issues, okay? We all do, everyone. But you got to weigh the ones that are truly significant, that cause you not to come to the office. Because most of the time when I have a conversation with an agent and they're not doing well, I get all the excuses. I'm dealing with some personal issues, or I got this going on in my life, or that. And I believe it. But how do you balance it? It's not all one and nothing. How do you balance it? Did I balance it the last 4 weeks? Yeah. Was I in the office every single day? No. I was coming in Monday, not coming in Tuesday, coming in Wednesday. You know, I took a lot of phone calls from home. I balanced it. I couldn't come in every single day. But I didn't stay home every day. The minute I was able to get up and walk, I came to work. How do you balance your life? And how do you remember you're in business? You You're in a business here not to struggle. Maybe in the first 6 months to a year, it's acceptable. We all do in the first year, finding our way. But if you're in this business beyond 12 months, you gotta ask yourself that question, why am I struggling? What am I not doing? And don't let the excuses get in the way. And get on that phone. What's the worst thing in the world that can happen? Someone's gonna tell you no? Right now, all my cycling buddies on my triathlon team that I already support, they're all getting a phone call from me. Tell me to go to hell. Tell me I don't want to buy insurance. I don't care. But all of them are going to get the same message. Look what happened to me. You have a wife, you have a husband, you have kids. You got to have life insurance and disability insurance. I don't care if you don't buy me, you got to have it. Let's get together and talk. No obligation, no application, we'll have a conversation. Tell me to go to hell. I don't care. And I'll tell them on the phone. This is not personal, this is business. If you want to tell me to go to hell, fine, just say it's okay. Because before, rejection never called me. Now, I'm like steel. You can punch me 1,000,000 times, I don't feel it. Dead serious. Because I believe all of you in this room, if you're not selling 75, 80 policies a year, you're doing a disservice to the community. Yeah, my opinion. Every single person, I don't care if they're middle class, affluent, poor, it doesn't matter. If there is family, there's needs. And sometimes, when there's less, there's more of a need. Because all of those children that may come from broken homes or may come from homes where there isn't a lot of wealth, those kids deserve an opportunity to go to the best colleges possible for their future. So they have an opportunity to do better. Only opportunity they're going to have is by having protection, having life insurance. Knowing that even though the family doesn't have a lot of savings and they may be low income earners, but that $250,000 term policy that they're paying $45 a month, God forbid something happens in the next 20 years, is going to provide a college education for their two children, or their one child. That's what you got to do, okay? I don't care where they are in life. If they're a human being with needs and love, they got to have coverage. And you're the ones, it's sort of like going into battle, okay? You're the military. You're the ones out there that have to go out there and spread the word. I can't do it myself. All of us have to do it. We have to go out there every single day. All of us. Take our marching orders, not question it, and go out there and make it happen. And talk to every single person. I don't care where you are. It doesn't matter. But think of the end result. Think about it. In everything we do in life, we are always afraid. We procrastinate. We don't like being told no. And we always have a tendency to fear. We fear the end result, so we're so afraid that we don't make the phone call. We don't do it. What's the worst thing in the world will happen if you approach somebody on the phone, face to face, somebody you know? What's the worst thing in the world will happen? What are they going to say to you? No. Don't bother me. Don't ever talk to me again. Okay, is that going to hurt you? No. Big deal. But if you believe in what you do in life, it doesn't matter. The rejection to you will be more on them, not you, because shame on you, not shame on me. How could you not sit down and take action? And that's why I said it again, and I mean it. There's got to be a vision next year. Not about, I did $30,000 of commissions. No, it should be I helped 80 families. I helped 100 families this year. And whatever that commission number amounts to, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, whatever. How many families am I going to help every single week, every single month, every single year? I don't care where they are. I don't care what they do. The point is I got to go out there and make an impact in people's lives. Take the excuses, throw them out the door. Okay? They're nonsense. The excuses are not going to help you. They're only going to hurt you, because what ends up happening, we start believing our excuses. We start believing the stuff that we're sharing, because it's human nature. Human nature. I sat home 4 weeks dependent, couldn't move. I had to text my wife and say, can you come down? I need my painkiller. You know how hard that is? You know how hard that is? To be dependent on someone? It's the hardest thing in the world. And luckily I had wonderful friends and wonderful support, and it was just amazing. But I want people to make a difference. I really do, okay? Do I think you got to become a student of this business? Yeah. Do I think you have to be 100% both feet in, and you got to start studying for your COU and CHFC? 100%. I think that stuff is so important. Okay, I do. Okay, it's not just about going out there and helping people, but it's about learning and educating yourself to be able to help people with more complex situations. Because it's a typical family, 2 children, husband and wife both work. That's a simple sit down, do a quick analysis. They need $300,000 of insurance. You want term, permanent, or a combination. What happens when you have a situation where you have a family where there's a former divorce, there were children from a previous marriage, there's an estate tax problem, there's a health issue, they don't want to leave to certain people. How do you know what to do in that point? Now the likelihood is you're going to walk out of there and you may going to sell a small little term policy, but you could have walked away from a significant situation that you could have helped someone do the right thing. Okay, how many of you have looked at an estate tax return and studied it and see the questions people have to answer in the event of a death? Okay, there are a lot of things on there, and I'd love to have a training class on that, but these are the things you got to educate yourself on. Because it's one thing to help the people, as I said to you before, that have a genuine need. But what about the people that have a different need, transferring wealth? And you walk into their home and you're clueless about their situation, and you end up, someone else comes in behind you and makes the sale, and it ends up being a $200,000 premium. You got to educate yourself. You got to get the education, the CLU, the CHFC, to get the knowledge behind you. Tax facts. If you don't own the book, buy it. Buy the CD. Read it every single day, a couple of pages. Okay, you'll educate yourself on a lot of different tax issues and laws and things you need to know. Because many times, you will see this. People's ownership of their policies is not correct. Okay? It's owned by the children, or it could be a $20 million policy owned by the person, which they've already created a huge estate. So all that stuff matters. Now, it's stuff you need to know today? No, but you need to know that stuff. If you believe in what you do for a living, you become a 100% professional in what you do. When I saw that orthopedist, and I had everyone texting me saying, go see this orthopedist. Am I going over yet? Ooh, okay, a couple minutes. Go see that orthopedist. What is the first thing that goes through your mind when you have to go see a doctor? What do you ask yourself? Is the doctor any good? And what do people tell you? Oh, he's great. How do you know? He's a nice guy that worked at the clinic. What makes him great? How do you know? So when I chose the orthopedist I went to see, he was highly referred. The guy was wonderful. Now, could I sit back and blame him? How come he didn't see that my leg was swollen? Maybe he would have prevented my blood clot. I don't know. I was asked, did your orthopedist notice your leg? I said, yeah. Did he do anything about it? I said, no. But the bottom line was, I went to him like I prefer him. And I believed he is good at what he does. And you know what? He has sent me email messages, asked me how I'm feeling. He called me when he found out I was in the hospital. That's the stuff that matters. So when people pick you to be their financial professional because someone said this is the guy you got to talk to, okay, that's what you got to get yourself to that point. People refer you because they think so highly of you as a human being because you're trustworthy, loyal, and honest. Think about it. Every time you sit in front of a client, what's going through their mind? Is he trustworthy? Is he loyal? Is he honest? Can I trust this guy? I put my life's trust in this hematologist and in this orthopedist. The orthopedist said to me, your bone looks like it's in a great position. I don't think we're going to need surgery. 2 other doctors already said, because they all saw my x-rays got sent to a couple of different doctors because we have friends that are doctors, and 2 of them said, we got to do surgery. This guy said, no, I'm not going to do surgery. Now, I'm sitting back saying to myself, if he's wrong, I'm going to be dealing with this much longer, because if I need surgery 3 weeks later, it's going to be more pain. How do I know? I trusted him. And then finally, when he called me on the phone, after they found out I had the pulmonary, the blood clot, and he said, you know what, thank God we didn't do surgery, because I don't even know if you would have made it to that surgery. We had no idea. We didn't know you had a blood clot. We would have found it out while we were doing surgery. Who knows? Thank God we didn't do surgery. Now, luckily, I don't need surgery. Thank God. I listened to him. I could have gone somewhere else, and I could have pins, and I could have a whole plate put in my shoulder right now, because someone would have thought I needed surgery. But he felt, no, if it doesn't move, you're going to be fine. Every week I went home, asked my wife, I wouldn't move my arm. She'd say, but I can't take a chance. I don't want to move. I was so afraid. And every week I would go back, they would do x-rays. And I would pray, please, bone don't move, please. And he'd come in. Stephen, good news, the bone didn't move. Am I out of the clear? Not yet. We got 2 more weeks. Okay, go home. 3rd week, same thing. The clear. Great. 4th week, he tells me, guess what? The bone didn't move. I said, am I clear? He goes, it looks that way. Okay. Wait, how much more for this? Another couple more weeks. But it looks like you're in the clear. How are you feeling in the world? So I know I picked the right doctor. I know I did. Because I don't have the surgery. And maybe I wouldn't be alive today if I did. I don't know. But the point is, life hit me hard. And I've always believed when life hits me hard, I wake up and I rise to the occasion. Don't get me wrong, I deal with the grieving of my dog, and I deal with many, I'm a human being like all of us in this room, and I deal with why this happened to me, and I dealt with some tough nights, upset about not being able to go to that race in Louisville. I was very upset about it. In fact, the race was on. I was tracking it online, and it was emotional, because I knew I should have been there. I had friends emailing me saying, Stephen, aren't you doing the race today? I don't see your name. And I had to respond back and tell them what happened. It sucked. It hurt. It hurt real hard. Real hard. And why me? And why couldn't it have been after 2 weeks? Why did it happen to me? You know, I don't deserve this. The things we'd all say to ourselves. But I believe the best way to fix or help the situation is by paying it forward, by sharing that experience with others. So maybe somewhere in all of this, we can prevent a tragedy from happening. We can prevent someone from something happening. And we can go out there and help a family that maybe we would not have helped. That all of a sudden, because you went out there, because of maybe something you heard today, you did the right thing by them, if anything would have happened, you know to take care of it. So I want to pay it forward, and I want to continue to talk, and I want to continue to share the experience I went through. And others of you in the room have experiences, by all means share them. Because holding it inside doesn't help anyone. Sharing life's experiences, true life experiences. I'm not getting up there and saying, rah, 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 go. This is a true life experience that I went through. And I can show you pictures. They're pretty gory, so I'm not going to, but we got some pictures that are pretty bad. Okay, I know you, man. I think you said you wanted to picture it. If you want to see it, she's got it. Okay?
I deleted it.
She's got it. But I have them. Okay?
Stephen.
You know what? The point is you pay it forward. You pay it forward, and you realize that other than us, who else can take care of someone in the event of a death or disability? No one else in this world who can. Who's giving out a handout? Okay, people, it's hard enough today to make ends meet. No one's giving a handout. Okay, banks aren't giving away free money. So I want to see a widow or a widower go to a bank and say, I just lost my husband. I don't work. We have no money. I need a loan. Can I have $200,000? Is the bank going to say yes? They're going to say, we really feel bad and we feel your pain, but I'm sorry. You don't fall within our guidelines. Okay, so other than you and how many thousands of agents are out there in the tri-state area that do what we do, especially the ones that are full-time and that are committed, the only one that can help someone through a death or a disability is you. And if you do everything right, and God willing nothing happens, you can help them with retirement as well. Nobody else can do that. Nobody. So you have captive opportunity. Other than the other agents out there, but there are millions of people, so there's more than enough to go around. In fact, 25 years in the business, 24, 25 years, I've come to competition maybe a dozen times, maybe 24 times, okay? It's not always where you're going to see someone and they've met with 6 agents from 6 other companies, okay? The likelihood is you have a captive audience in some cases. But what we do for a living is we provide that silver bullet that nobody else can do. And it's got to be inside of you to want to go out there and make ends meet. You got to ask yourself a question, am I doing this full-time or part-time? If I'm doing it part-time, why? If I'm not convinced this is right for me, then maybe I shouldn't be here. If I'm convinced it's right for me, then I'm putting 2 feet in. And I'm not going to stop. And I'm not going to stop until I'm successful. I'm not going to stop until I've made those 80 sales. I'm not going to stop until I'm having a great career and I'm doing well and things are going in my favor. Okay? It's got to be inside of you. Okay? You know, today I can leave you here with motivation, and some of you are going to walk out of here feeling great. The question is, how do you continue to keep that going in your career? How? Okay? Look, I will stop at nothing to help anybody. A lot of you know that who spend time talking to me. Okay, I want to help wherever I can. Okay, and probably come 2016, you know, with my new revelation, I'm probably going to be a lot more out there. Okay, it's just how I feel. But the point is, I want to see all of you do well. I do, and it hurts when people are struggling. It hurts when I see the numbers, and I see people's production out there. And Jessica and I sit down and we talk about who's not going to make that in a contract, or who's struggling to make those last couple of sales. We shouldn't be thinking that way. We should be sitting down and saying, is this person going to make blue chip, top of the council, leaders, they're a couple $1,000s away. We got to get them there. It shouldn't be the person's only got 5,000 of commissions and they got to write another 10,000 to validate their contract. And where they get that shouldn't happen. Okay, it shouldn't happen. Okay, and most of the time, it's our own fault. Again, sometimes it's not, but usually we control our own destiny. It's those extra phone calls you can make. It's sort of like when my dog was sitting in the bed and we were about to put him to sleep. What goes through your mind? Maybe I didn't spend enough time with him. Maybe I could have spent more time with him. Maybe all those years when he came and I ignored him. We all start living in a world of regret. I don't want you living in a world of regret. I don't want to see anybody in this agency walk out that door this year because you didn't make your contract. It's one thing if you don't like the business and you quit. I can accept that. I don't want to see anybody have to face one of us and shake hands and part ways because you didn't make your minimum contract. So yeah, maybe there's 6 weeks left to the end of the year, maybe some of you have a long stretch ahead of you, but you know what? Go for it. Go for it and figure out how to make it happen where come the end of the year, you made your contract. Work with Jessica, work with me, work with the managers, work with people in the office, on the staff, if you need help figuring out where you need to finish the year. But don't give up. Don't end it now if you're off. If you got a chance of making conference, well, figure it out. Figure it out somehow. Some of you in the room, I know have a shot at making conference. Figure it out. Okay? Figure out how to get there. Okay? Maybe there's someone out there that's really in desperate need of life insurance who you know personally. Corner them, sit them down and say, I'm not leaving. Shut the door behind you. Okay? And put a clock and say, look, we'll stay here all night. And we're not going to eat unless you sign the application and give me a check. And I will end it by saying this. Don't make a life insurance or disability insurance sale without collecting a check. I don't want to hear, oh, I didn't want to ask them for a check. If I ask them for a check and the policy takes too long, I got to go back and ask for a second payment. Unless you can take a check because they have a health issue that prevents them. Shame on you for not taking a check. They're covered when you walk out of their home. Okay? As long as they were honest with you with everything. Okay? Or in some cases when they've taken the medical exam. Shame on you. You're not taking a check because you don't want to bother them. No. If they don't want to give me a check, there's no application. Unless it's a estate planning case, a significant case that's complex, that requires some additional work. But if it's a standard life insurance policy and the client says to me, I'm not going to give you a check, I'm not taking the application. Because I'm not going to set myself up for liability. I'm not. Davina, how many cases that come in with no checks don't go through? Many, right? There's no conviction on the client's part. What are they haven't met you halfway. They took an application. So it costs Mass Mutual hundreds of dollars to do APSs and medical exams for the client to say to you, thank you, you gave me a free medical, I don't want the life insurance. Give me a check, I need $100. Mr. Client, you're covered tonight. So this next month, while you're trying to get all the stuff out of the way, and even if you go on vacation or I'm on vacation, you're covered. I won't leave without taking a check. If you don't feel comfortable giving me $100, then when you're ready, call me. And leave. Because the likelihood that sale is not going to happen anyway. So that's one thing I'm going to start asking people. When you tell me you made a sale, did you get a check? And if you did, you better have a damn good excuse why not. Okay, I'm telling you right now. If it's I didn't want to ask or they didn't want to give it to me, I'm not going to accept it. Because that's on you, not on them. Because you didn't ask hard enough. Because you let them off the hook too easy. Sort of like referrals. You tell me you asked for referrals. Bull. You said, can you give me names? No. Okay, I asked. That's not how you ask for referrals. Mr. Client, I did a great job for you. Would you agree? Yes. Do you feel comfortable working with me? Did you find me trustworthy, honest, and integrity? Yes. Well, I'm trying to help new people. And I really don't want to have to deal with going after people I don't know. I'd like to do things through word of mouth. So knowing how you felt about me and the service that I provided to you, would it be okay if we sat down for the next 15 minutes before I leave and brainstorm and come up with a list of maybe 20 or 25 people that I can send an email to right now from my computer, copying you with an introduction, and I'll reach out to them the same way I reached out to you when I got referred to see if they'd like to see me. If they don't want to meet with me, that's fine. No hard feelings, and I will handle them the same way I handled you. Okay? But the good thing here, with those introductions that you give me, if it turns out someone needs my services, and I'm able to do the right thing, you're going to feel good about yourself. Because God forbid anything happens, you know, thanks to you, they took action. So with that in mind, let's brainstorm for the next 15 minutes. Who comes to mind? Top 25 people. Who's your partner at work? Conviction! It's not just, well, I made the sale. Thank you. Can I have any referrals? No? Yeah, you don't know anybody that can... No? Okay, thank you. Then you come back to the office, you tell your manager, I asked for referrals. No, you didn't. If you asked for referrals, you should be getting them. If not, then the client doesn't trust you. So they're buying from you, and they won't give you referrals. There's something wrong there. Okay? Maybe not everyone right away is going to give you referrals. But you can't tell me that you batted 0 for 10, and yet those 10 people bought from you, but they won't give you a referral. Something's wrong. You're not asking. You're not convinced. You got to be convinced in how you ask for referrals. The way I just did it right now is one of the ways I ask. I just made that up. That came natural. Okay, but that's very similar how I would ask somebody for referrals. And if they tell me no, I would say thank you. I respect how you feel. But is there a reason why you don't feel comfortable after the work we just did over the last several weeks and you felt so good about what I did? Because somewhere along the way, the people that you know are going to need my service. And I'd like to make sure I have my name in front of them. And in no way, shape, or form am I going to harass them or am I going to be difficult. It's going to be a simple email, letting them know I'm available. They can call me or I'll call them, and if they say they're not interested, the worst thing I'll do is put them on my mailing list and they'll get my newsletter. That's it, and I'll keep in touch with them over the years. But it'll be a very non-threatening, no-obligation approach. But this way, if they ever have a need, they'll have someone that they can reach out to. So if there's a concern, let's discuss it. If not, I'd like to see if we can move forward. Someone's going to say yes. You're going to get referrals. And you know what's going to happen when you start getting referrals? Your career's going to be so much easier. You're not going to have to sit around worrying about where the next sale's coming from. Because you're going to know, if you have 50 clients this year and half of them give you referrals, and law of large numbers, 10, 3, 1, you're going to start making sales. You're going to start getting more referrals. And I've never met a person in this business who was good at getting referrals who failed. Never once. Never once. And they didn't work as hard as most people because the referrals started to come in naturally. Fred Horowitz, one of our biggest producers, been in the business 40 years. His entire business, his phone rings. Now, it didn't happen the first day he got there, but you could ask Fred. His phone rings. And guess what? He doesn't do house calls. So if you won't go see him, he won't go see you. You got to come to his office. His phone rings. How do you get your phone to ring? Who in this room's phone rings all the time? Hi, I got referred to you. How do you get your phone to ring? By getting referrals and getting your name out there and doing things in your community and sponsoring things and getting your name out there and getting your CLU and getting your CHFC, becoming a professional in what you do. People get to know you. The same way I called this doctor, the orthopedist. Do doctors get referrals? Do they ask for referrals? No. They get phone calls because the word gets out there on the street. So why can't your name get out on the street that you're the top financial professional? You're the guy you want to talk to if you're an engineer. You want to talk to Bill. Bill's the guy to talk to if you're an engineer. He's phenomenal. He's got 100 engineer clients. He's the guy you want to talk to. Oh, you're a doctor? Oh, you want to talk to Paul. Paul's the guy you want to talk to. Why? Why can't you do that in your circle, in your target market? Why not? Why not? Many of you have connections from prior careers. Why can't you be the guy in that world that people go to? I can tell you right now, on Wall Street, the investment bankers, there are a couple of agents that I know right now are the go-to guys. Why can't you be one of those go-to guys too? It's all about what you're willing to put in. It's all about the price you're willing to pay for success in this business. And I can tell you this much. You put that price for success at 150%, not 80%, and you watch what starts to happen. You start to listen. You stop making excuses. You put your best foot forward, and you don't let rejection bother you, and you watch what starts to happen. And you'll be in one of those corner offices making blue chip on top of the council, and you'll be coming into my office telling me what you want instead of me telling you what I want. Mark my words, it will happen. And I will accept that graciously the day you come into my office and say, you know what, I'm your top producer, I want a bigger office. That'll be a wonderful conversation for us to have. Jessica, who gives me the hardest time? My top producers. They're prima donnas, but you know what, they have every right to be that way. And why can't you be the next top producer? Come in to me, Rich, or somebody and say, I want this. And I'm not taking no for an answer. I love it. So, I'm done. I hope this impacted you in some way, shape, or form. This was not a canned speech. It spoke from the heart, which I've always believed in doing. I know it's been taped. So if anybody wants to watch it again, it's here. And as more come about, I will continue to have these discussions, but I'm not going to accept failure from anybody in this room. You're too good for that. If you want to fail, then leave now. Leave now, please. Get off the boat. The boat didn't leave yet. The boat's at the dock, we're all on, and we're getting ready to take the ropes and put them on the boat, and we're going to sail away. If you don't like to sail, leave. But if you are convinced this is where you want to be, then I expect 150% effort every single day. I don't care if it means Saturdays or Sundays. Be successful. Be someone out there that helps people. 80 people a year, okay? You know, being Jewish, we call that a mitzvah, helping people, okay? Every religion has a different word for it, but it's a good deed. So the way I would look at it, if I help 80 families a year, putting aside how much money I made, I did a good deed. I did a mitzvah. I did something right by someone because I went out there and protected a family. So without further ado, 6 weeks left to year end or whatever's left, make a major impact. Whatever goal you're trying to shoot for, don't accept anything less but hitting it. If you're struggling to make contract, walk out there right now, sit down and figure out a damn plan and make it happen. I don't want to see anyone walk out that door in January because they didn't make their contract. I don't. I can accept someone falling short on conference, and we can talk that through, but not missing a contract. No way. Okay? So that's a pact we have to form right now. And some of you in this room I know have some work to do. But you know what? Best 6 weeks of the year are in front of us. Magic happens in these weeks, mark my words. Okay, I had it happen to me one year. I was a couple $1,000s away from qualifying for conference. I was on the street. Back in my days at Prudential, it was a little bit different. Michael will remember this, but we had something called express commission, so it was a little bit different. You put a sale in, and you got the credit for the case right away. Most companies don't do that anymore. So here I was, maybe with a day or two left to the end of the year, and I wanted to make conference my second year in the business. and I went out to see a client, and we got into a discussion, and out of nowhere, I did not think it was going to happen. He ended up telling me at the meeting, you know what, I don't want this term insurance anymore. I just read a whole article that permanent's the way to go. I want to convert these policies. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. We converted it right there, turned it in, got done, and I made confidence. True story, okay? He was one of my superintendent clients. He read an article. Term insurance isn't the way to go. We converted it. It was incredible, okay? Because what do you do when you're fighting to make confidence? If you've been in the business a while, you look for all your term insurance clients. Why did I sell a boatload of term insurance as an agent? For that reason. I said it before and I say it again. Every time I sell a policy, you're in great health, Mr. Client. Congratulations. You got ultra preferred. Buy another $500,000 term policy because you'll never get this rating again. But the more term you have on the books, when you're fighting in the 11th hour to make your contract, to make leaders conference, blue chip, top of the council, you always go back to your term clients. Because if you convert those terms, they go in and they come out like that. I always had a strategy. I always had term on the books. Because a conversion is the quickest thing you can do. So you've got to sell a lot of term insurance. Say to a client next time, I want you to try just once with conviction. Mr. Client, I am so thrilled. Why? You got the highest rating class in the company, ultra preferred. This is like getting the best mortgage rate out there because you had the best credit. Your FICO score was 900. Perfect. You may never get this again. Most people don't. So I'm going to recommend something to you. I know you're doing well financially and your career's probably going to go to the next level because we talked about where you'd like to go with your company. I'm going to recommend you take another $250,000 or $500,000 in term insurance, 10-year term, or 1-year term, whatever, I don't care. It's another $40 a month, $10 a week. I think you should do this. Ensure your future insurability because you may never get this again. I think you should do it, Mr. Client. If it were me, I would, but it's your decision. What do you say? Okay, let's do it. Perfect. Boom. Now you go back 2 years later, Mr. Client, look how well your whole life policy is doing. You're trying to convert that sale because you want to make conference. Mr. Client, I really think you should convert this, or at least part of it. It's the right thing to do. Look at our dividend rate. It's doing well. Look at the cash value. Look, Mr. Client, you're in year 3 of your whole life policy. Look, the guaranteed cash value equals your premium. It's costing you nothing. Okay, you move your money from pocket A to pocket B. Your guaranteed cash value is $4,000, $10,000. Your premium was $10,000. Look at that, wonderful. You have more savings. So now, let's do the same thing with this policy, so you have additional protection down the road. Okay, sounds good. Let's convert it right now. Wonderful. You come back, you make conference, everything is great. But you can't do that if you have that term policy. Okay, guys, seriously. I love this place just as much as anything else in my life, and I want nothing more to see all of you succeed. I am waiting for the next people to be our next big producers, to build a great profession here, to be sitting in offices, to be here for the next 20, 30, 40 years, and have a lot of success. It's in this room. I don't know who it's going to be. I hope it's all of you. But I'm telling you, big producers all started sitting brand new in this business. Mike Archimon, Robin, Fred Horowitz, all of us. We started from nothing. But we just had that vision and desire to want more, and we went after it, okay? It's got to be some of you in this room, sort of like, CEOs of companies retires, you come in. As our top producers move up, it's got to be the next wave coming in. But it's here. Someone in this room, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 of you, have what it takes to be a top of the council producer. You're just not putting in all the energy and effort that you have. And once you do that, an opportunity meets preparation, that's luck. And all of a sudden, things start coming together. So, the ball's in your court. I'm here to help you, but I will not tolerate excuses anymore. You walk by my office, you give me an excuse. I will. As far as I'm going to say it, I didn't hear it. Move on. Come in and talk to me about something that's, constructive. You had a situation that you need help with. It's one excuse. Oh, I can't do it. It's hard. No one's buying our products anymore. The new annuity product stinks. No one's going to buy it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. They're not going to buy our term insurance. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. What I want to hear is I'm out there helping people. 80 people this year. 100 people next year. You did 80, I'm going to do 90. He's going to do 150. I'm going to do 200. Let's go. We're part of the 80 Act Club. We're going to help 80 families each, the 4 of us. Sort of like on weekends they come to my door, whether it's Jehovah's Witnesses or whatever, because they're convinced in what they do. You can't tell them no, and it's great. And I give them a lot of respect because it's what they believe in. You form that club with 6 of you get together and say, we're going to form a pact. Between the 6 of us, we're going to do 400 lives next year. We're going to help 400 families next year. How many are you going to do? You're going to do 60, I'm going to do 80, you're going to do 120. We're going to hold each other accountable. That's what we're going to do next year. We're all going to help 60, 80, 90, 100 families next year. And we're going to sit down and we're going to celebrate. At the end of the year, when all of us hit our goal, then you'll count the money. Then you'll take out the suitcase of all the cash, you'll start counting all the money you got. And say, wow, how much did you make? What'd you make? Oh my God, wow, well I had one big sale. Oh my God, wonderful. But I guarantee you this, if you make 80 lives a year, you'll succeed in this business. And the likelihood, you'll make a 6-figure income without even counting the sales. I'm here most of the day. I don't feel well, so I'll be leaving probably early, but I'm around if anybody wants to talk. I really thank you for coming. Anyone else who didn't come today, shame on them. They missed a great talk. I wish you the best of luck, okay? And I want to see things happen, and I'm not taking no for an answer. Okay? So let's get to work, let's make things happen. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.